Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara back once again on a Saturday evening. Happy Saturday evening, everyone. I am here, and you are there, obviously. Uh, I don't know where that came from, but anyway, it's the middle of the weekend. I had a great mastermind group meeting today, and we're going to keep doing them. And let's see, I'm all discombobulated here. Go to mastermindwithjoedechara.com. It's a great group. We've been meeting every Saturday at 2 p.m. And if you're here by accident and you don't know who I am a CPA based out of Flushing, New York, a serial entrepreneur. I love talking about business, about small business, startups, business strategy, business marketing, organizing your business, getting your business out of hot water, uh, and everything in between. I am a CPA. I've been doing that for over 35 years, and the good news is that I've had my share of business failures, plenty of them. And why do I say that that's good news? Because that's just the way it is, folks. We go into business, you don't always succeed right away. It takes time. If you go into business and you hit the ground running, you're one of the few and far between. If you know anything about people that have become successful, you can look at people like Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, anybody that went through their own trials and tribulations, not just in business, but in life in general. And that's where I'd like to segue right into our presentation. Now I remember why I brought up the mastermind, because one of the things that came out of the mastermind group today was, as far as doing video presentations, do people like this? Do they like this? Or do they like this? Well, it turns out, let's see, yeah, this is the preferable method. Actually, they said with the little box in the bottom, and I don't know if I can switch that around. Maybe I can, but that's the sort of stuff that we learn about in the mastermind. And if you think about it, it's those stupid little things. Well, not stupid, but those little things that seem inconsequential that make a big difference. Because some people would, I can just talk to you, and some people can learn that way. I can't. I'm not going to sit here in a video or a webinar. Just if there's a webinar, I'm in the workbook. I'm looking at the pictures. I'm not just, and I'm listening, but that's not my main way to learn. I would rather have this, but that's me. But the consensus was that people like this. So if you're here to learn, something about business, to pick up some knowledge, doesn't it make sense for me to make it as comfortable for you as possible? This is the kind of stuff that I don't think of on my own. And it wasn't even like, oh, we're going to talk about how to do a video presentation. It's not how it works with the mastermind. Something just comes up and somebody says, oh, I didn't know that. What about this? And then it snowballs into something, that a practical tool, a practical little nugget that I can use, and I'm going to use that information. What do they say? I don't remember. Something about, knowledge is wasted unless you're using it. So, and I usually say that at the end of the presentation, and I will say it tonight. But tonight, what I'm going to be talking and what you're going to be listening to. If you're listening live, give me a hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay, because what that does is get you on the thread, and I give you a little point. I have a book where I keep points for people. And when you get up to a certain amount of points, I send you a free gift. And that's why, I'd like to keep track of that. So if you're here, just comment. Let me know that people are out there listening. If you have any questions, post it. If you have any comments, if you've used Waveapps in the past, and there's something that I'm not covering that you want to know about, let me know. Put it in the chat, because Waveapps, and I say this jokingly, but I actually believe it, that this program, it's changing my life. Put it that way. It's changing my life, and it's helping me help show people how to win at business. And that's what this is all about. This show is all about showing people how to win at business. And what does that mean? It's pretty simple. It means that at the end of the day, you have more than what you started out with. We create capital, we create money, we create cash flow from our ideas and implementation. And if at the end of the day you have less money, less energy, less goodwill, then you're doing something wrong. Something's out of sequence, because you're not in business just to spend money. And not to just churn money. And what I mean by that is, you're not in business just to create revenue and expenses and break even. Because if you're breaking even, that's not the objective. Who starts a business and says, "Oh, I hope that within 3 years we're breaking even"? I've never seen that in a business plan. You might say, "Hey, in 6 months, I hope we're at break even, and then we're gonna, hit it." But that's the story. That's how you win a business. You start out with more, and winning doesn't mean that somebody has to lose. So I should bring that out. Winning really means everyone wins. If you deliver your product, your service, the way that you're capable of, with quality and caring, and you provide more in value than what you receive in money, that's how you expand the universe. That's how you get those ripples. What my executive VA Elizabeth says, you get those positive ripples. And it's not like cards or chess where you win. It's either win, lose, or draw. It's, listen, I'm going to do business with you, and you're going to be better off, and I'm going to have a little bit more money in my pocket. And that's the exchange. So that's how we're going to win at business. Now, before we go into business, and this is a quote that I love, and if you follow me, you see this at just about every time. But life is difficult. Just a big start out with. And once I read this, it changed everything for me, because I thought I was the only one that it was hard for. And that's how entrepreneurs feel a lot of times. And you're not alone. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, it's because you were probably stupid enough to start a business. Let's face it, folks, we're crazy. I could have just got a job and got a paycheck every week. But no, I had to go out and suffer the pain and consequences of going into business. And to be honest with you, had I known how tough, how hard it was going to be, I may not have done it. I may not have done it. Or I definitely would have done it differently. I definitely would have done it differently. And they didn't teach me this in CPA school. So they didn't say, hey, listen, life is tough. When you get out there, kid, if you're going to start a business, just be ready. And there's a lot of ways to be ready. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And this is why, because when individuals such as I went into business thinking it was going to be easy with unreal expectations, because that's really what it was. I'll never forget when I was 18, I was going to graduate high school, and my friend asked me, like, what did I think about my future? And I was like, my future, I'm going to own businesses and be a multimillionaire. And he laughed at me. He's like, I'm just going to get a job. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And I actually ran into him a few years ago. Got a job, had a nice life, got a house, a family, and he did and that was his expectation. You see, I expected to go out there and make a killing. And based on all the experience I had up until I was 18, I said, every business I started, I made money. I mean, let's face it, I'm good at this. This is going to be easy. And it wasn't easy. And whoever you are, yeah, I wish, yeah, why can't, I don't know. Why can't you just be happy with the regular job? It's at one point, and I don't know your name yet, but thank you for the comment. At one point there, I actually got called to my wife's therapist, and I thought it was for marriage counseling, but they wanted to know why I started so many businesses. And I actually thought that I had to start looking at it. I was like, you're right. I did, and they weren't all big businesses. Most of these were, side gigs, but they were things that I put a lot of time, effort, and money into. And they were distractions when I could have just been a happy employee. See, and so I thought that literally that there was something psychologically, like what was driving me? Did I have a gambling problem? And then it just turned out I immersed myself in a world of entrepreneurs about 9 years ago. I joined Mastermind Group. And it turns out that we all have this, I call it a virus. It's not a gene. You said, I wish I could remove my entrepreneur. We can't, because once we get a taste, working for somebody is impossible. Unless you get that rare kind of individual that's going to let you be creative and help them run their business better than they can. Because we all know, and that's the problem with working for somebody. Once we start working for somebody, we see all the things that they're doing wrong. And then we want to fix it. And then they don't let us fix it. So we go out and do it ourselves. Now, thank God for people like us with this crazy gene that, we go out, we take risks, we go bankrupt, and only to come back and do it again. Because if it wasn't for people like us, just think of where this country would be. This country wouldn't even exist. Think about it. Those guys came here and they wanted their own choices. And that's what business does for you. But unfortunately, like I said, a lot of people go out of business. And what I found is that the main reason, folks, is because of a fundamental lack of organization and structure. And that's a pretty broad thing, but let me explain. Because there's too many moving parts. it's way too complicated. It's a lot more complicated than what I had expected. The summer before I graduated, I drove an ice cream truck, and this is part of my story. And I did it as a business. I kept books and records. Uh, I mean, I ran it as an entrepreneur, and I made money, and it was easy until I went and got a job. And 6 months after into my CPA career, I got a letter from the New York State Tax Department that said tax warrant. And I spent 3 days in total panic. I thought my career was over. I didn't know what I did. And that just showed me that this wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be. And then learning everything that I had to learn to be an accountant just showed me really how complicated it is. So my goal, my objective with my clients, with my teaching, is to try to show people how to make it simple. I want to help make your business simple, fun, and profitable. And I forgot I actually had that little thing there, but that's it. It's way too complicated, and I can't make it easy. It's going to be hard no matter what. But I could help make it simple. And this program, Waveapps, is probably far and above, not probably, is way better than QuickBooks ever tried to be. QuickBooks came on the scene and tried to be this, oh, you can do your own bookkeeping. Well, Waveapps doesn't tell people they can do their own bookkeeping. Because unless you're a bookkeeper, you shouldn't be doing your own bookkeeping. But what Waveapps does is they make it extremely, extremely simple to set up, to bring in your transactions, to start invoicing people. Now think about this. You could have your business set up, and I've done this with clients, register on Wave, and be able to invoice customers and collect credit cards, have them pay by credit card, by ACH bank transfer in less than 3 minutes. In less than 3 minutes. And the invoices come out beautiful, it's professional, and it works like clockwork. So what they have done is basically rendered QuickBooks useless for solopreneurs, for small business owners. 98% of small business owners do not need QuickBooks. They can get by with Waveapps, which is actually free. And what Waveapps does, let me go through some of the features here. It's like I said, it's simple. More important, it's safe, and it's 100% secure and accurate. Why? Because I don't know how they do it, but they have a system that just imports all of the information. And it's secure because even as the accountant with accountant access, administrative accounting access, which is the highest level that I could get as an additional user, I cannot get into your bank account. There is no access to your bank account. You set up the bank link and you keep it connected. And nobody can buy anything through Waveapps. You can't pay for anything through Waveapps. You can't do it now anyway, but if they add that, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of added protection. So it's safe, it's simple, it's secure. You can do professional invoicing. Now, for somebody like me, what I was doing before, I actually had a QuickBooks program because I was using QuickBooks for most of my clients. There weren't too many good alternatives. And so I used QuickBooks, and I was collecting payments from clients through a merchant account, which meant now I had to keep my accounting over here and my credit card was over here. They weren't integrated. Now, I could have done the accounting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could have done the bookkeeping and kept track of which clients were paying what and what credit card fees went to which, but that would have been a project. I mean, it just wasn't worth the time and effort. When I went and if you don't know what I'm talking about, so if I have 25 clients pay me on the first, that one big number gets deposited, and then you got to do all the details are in the details in the credit card system. So Wave eliminates that, and their prices are extremely reasonable. I mean, it's about 3%. That's what you're going to pay basically across the board. You can easily start tracking your income and expenses, which if you're running a business, I think that's kind of important. You can save documents in here. I just got a new client, and she was asking me about saving her documents because somebody that she knew had gotten audited and got into a lot of trouble because they didn't have all of their papers in the right order. So now you can upload documents to your Waveapps account, and it scans them. It brings in the name, the amount, the date, and then you could put in what category it belongs to and even what account it got paid from. So that's pretty powerful when you're talking about a program that's for free. And that's something that QuickBooks has been trying to do for a long time. I mean, they have the ability to attach a document to a transaction, and it's okay, but it's not as simple as this. And you can record your bills. They are coming out with something called Wave Money, which the way I understand it, it's going to actually be like a bank. It will be a bank with actual debit ATM machines all over the place, and there's no fees. That's what they're saying. So your money you can bill through Wave. Actually, have the money go into your Wave account, and that's that eliminates another middleman. You can link not only to your bank accounts, but just about all of your credit cards. So again, if you know anything about bookkeeping, accounting, there's a lot of data, and there's a lot of time and effort spent on entering the data. And when humans are entering data or getting data, there's a chance that it might go in wrong. So there's that human error, and by linking, so QuickBooks and other programs link to bank accounts also. It's just that their system is just so much better than everyone else's, and that's the way it is. They've eliminated steps, and that's what I like. QuickBooks still has, there's 4 steps that you got to take when you import a transaction. You got to, receive it. You got to accept it. You got to classify it. It's just it's not as simple as this, and that's what we go for in business, because, like I said, business is complicated enough. It's tough enough, and as entrepreneurs, what we do all the time is we overcomplicate stuff. And the other thing is, if you can't import your if you can't link your credit cards, you can import transactions. So you could also import petty cash transactions and other transactions that you're doing outside of the system. They also have a bunch of integrations that are just, again, too many to name here to go through, but they're getting integrations through CRMs, other programs, and I wish I had the time, but like they said, I wanted to keep this short and sweet, and that's about it. If any of this resonates with you, if you'd like help getting this set up, I will be glad to walk you through it. All you got to do is go to timewithjoe.com, and that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon. God bless.